while Tyson Fury threatens a 70-year-old farmer, Kerfoot, for cooperating with Okada, exposing his pathetic excuse of why he took steroids, blaming it on a wild boar that's extinguished, utilizing the oldest excuse in the book that is so dusty we nearly have to brush it off before talking about it. However, some way, somehow, the decafs, the dumb casual ass fans, wanna attack and falsely accuse Errol Spence of some way, somehow being on steroids, when his record and his history shows that he's as clean as a newborn baby of any sin. Accusing Errol Spence of being on steroids while knowing the fact that he passed all of his VADA and USADA testings. That's equivalence of accusing a newborn baby of being a sinner. See, you decafs must realize, when the truth is spoken, the truth is cleared of any lie. The two don't mix together. There is no going against the truth. When the truth is spoken, the other side is nothing but a lie. Therefore, I'm about to put the whole truth together like puzzle. And if any one of you decafs want to go against the truth, you have a better chance of jumping in the ocean, trying to stop the wave from getting to its destination and redirecting it a different direction. It's physically impossible. Three things that could never ever be hitting for too long: the sun, the moon, and the truth that Akhi spit on the mic daily. Hater or love it, it's destiny. Nevertheless, let's get straight to the business at hand and what Errol Spence had to say. But first things first, subscribe below if you're trying to get smart about a minute. If you're trying to get dumb about a second, don't listen to these decafs, the dumb casual ass fans / old media that don't know shit about boxing. Word to Roger Mayweather, may he rest in peace, inshallah. Click on the notification bell to get notified every time I post to go live on Split Decision. It's a boxing debate / talk show mixed, master engineer, produced by yours truly, Akhi. Call in, tune in. All my viewers know, all of my Akhis know, that they treat me like the Mike Tyson of debating, the most feared. I can't pay a decaf to call in. I got them shook. They scared to look every time Akhi is on TV unless it's bad news. But how ironic, I always have bad news for the decafs, since they hate the truth. The truth is the decafs' kryptonite. Nevertheless, I really didn't want to give attention to these ridiculous false accusations. However, since a lot of my Akhis requested me to knock out all of the decafs, it's my pleasure. We here, so let's dive into the business at hand. Errol Spence came out tweeting, "I could post a picture with my nipples looking the same when I was 15, and y'all still going to say the same shit." Laughing emojis. Errol Spence also added, "You all have to let that go and come up with something else." Laughing emojis. He basically saying, you all too basic. Come up with something new. I mean, damn. This is a waste of time, but at least if you all gonna waste our time, crack us up in the process. You all can't just repeat the same old pathetic joke time and time again. In addition to that, Errol Spence added, "Eddie Hearn and Brooke made me take VADA and USADA, ... nothing." Smiling emoji. In other words, I was clean as a baby of any sin. Taking the two strictest testing agencies in the sport of boxing back to back on some Drake-ish? And you all trying to claim that Errol Spence is dirty? However, unfortunately for these decafs, the truth separates the real from the fake, the cheater from the clean fighter, which is, it's clear as day. Errol Spence is 1,000,000% a clean fighter. You don't have to take my word for it. Facts state so. Errol Spence have receipts. He took the two most strictest agencies in the sport of boxing when it comes to testing: Olympic style testing, USADA, and pro style testing, VADA, and he still passed both, and also passed fight night by beating Kell Brook blind. And I mean literally, he turned him to Stevie Wonder. So what is the decaf's excuse of them not being able to see the truth that is right in front of their faces? Are they being Stevie Wonders? Why is it every time the decafs hear the truth, they act like they don't speak any English? When they see the truth, they act like they Stevie Wonder. I really wonder. However, facts trump opinions any given day of the week. An opinion is equivalence of an asshole. Everybody has one. Some a-holes are bigger than most. Excuse me. Some opinions are bigger than most. Lies are changeable. However, truth always remain the same. Furthermore, it's mind-boggling to me that the same people that tried to justify Tyson Fury cheating when he clearly failed a drug test for steroids, that's a fact. In other words, that's not up for debate. You could Google it if you believe in Google. However, I'm gonna put it right in front of your face, since I know you decafs will do whatever to hide from the truth. So don't act Stevie Wonder on me. Now, his excuse was him eating that wild boar that's contaminated, that's not allowing his cojones to grow. That's why he never faces fighters on an even playing field when he does step up. How ironic is it? The same fans that defend Tyson Fury blind, claiming he's innocent when facts say he cheated, are the same fans that falsely accuse Errol Spence of being on steroids some way, somehow, when facts and stats say Errol Spence's record is as clean as a napkin. However, these decafs will claim Errol Spence is on something because he have more nipples than they do. He's more of a man than they are. He has cojones and they don't, since the decafs have female parts, and that have been proven on more than one occasion, since they don't have any cojones to call in on split decision to debate Akhi without a voice nor a face. You all have to remember, these decafs remain anonymous, so nobody know who these people are, and they still shook of Akhi. They scared to look whenever Akhi is on TV, but as soon as the live is over, these decafs be the first one to comment. Just peep the comment section. They are simply keyboard warriors. So with that being stated, it's mind-boggling to me that Tyson Fury takes steroids, fails a drug test on more than one occasion. He failed two, then blames it on the oldest excuse in the book, on a wild boar that's extinguished. However, what makes matter worse, Tyson Fury bribed a man to lie in court, Martin Carefoot, who later on came out and sticked his foot 6 feet deep up in Tyson Fury a-hole and old media, aka the corrupted media. So what does Tyson Fury do? He threatens the 70-year-old farmer for cooperating with USADA, telling them the truth, exposing him in the process. So what did he do? He put Daniel Cunningham, who's on the run till this day, and my boss on Martin Carefoot. Now Martin Carefoot no longer cooperating with USADA. According to Martin Carefoot, his life was threatened on more than one occasion through phone calls and people that came and knocked on his door. I'm gonna leave the video for that in particular in the comment section below. So the point is, Tyson Fury fails a drug test, then bribes a man to lie in court. Later on, gets exposed for doing so he relinquished his license to escape justice. Comes to the United States, tampers with his gloves against Deontay Wilder, and he also did it in the past on more than one occasion. But the point remains, through all of this dirt, Tyson Fury will go down as the cheater of the century. However, these decafs and old media want to cover up for Tyson Fury and turn around with that same breath, accusing Errol Spence of being on something when he have been cleared with facts and hard evidence and proof that he's 100% clean. Now, what sense does that make? Now, what makes dollars make a lot of sense, and the reason why these decafs hate the crap out of Errol Spence is because he tells the truth. He never changed his character for no one. Errol Spence always remained the same. He never tripped or fold, which causes the decafs to hate the crap out of Errol Spence. See, Tyson Fury, he could do all of the dirt, but he got the complexion for the protection. He has the best hope insurance in the world. It's literally better than Geico because it covers you cheating in the past. They will flip the story of you taking steroids and being suspended for 2 years to a depression story coming off coke, etc., etc. You could cheat and tamper with your glove, and if you happen to be on the hope list, you will have the WBC president Suleiman come out and defend you blind, claiming he was there the whole time. The same person, Suleiman, that defended Margarito, claimed he was innocent. The same person that defended Jimenez claimed she was innocent. The same person that defended Canelo claiming he was innocent. And all of these three people have one thing in common. They all cheated, and that's a fact. They all failed their drug test, and that's a fact. More than one, and that's a fact. However, that didn't stop the WBC president of defending these fighters blind because they have the complexion for the protection. On the other hand, a guy like Errol Spence, a guy like Floyd Mayweather, a guy like Deontay Wilder, they could do no wrong. And they will be damned if they do, damned if they don't. Which Errol Spence happened to be on the coincidental list. And it's not a coincidence that Errol Spence gets accused of being on steroids when 1,000,000% he's clearly not. But again, because he speaks the truth, and he even retweeted the picture of Tyson Fury tampered glove to Max Kellerman and ESPN, the Max hypocrisy on ESPN, Errol Spence wanted the answers. But they clearly don't want to give the answers. They are part of the cover-up. And because of Errol Spence speaking out on the issue and putting attention on Deontay Wilder getting cheated on his own home soil against a foreigner, saying, why are the American people booing Deontay Wilder in his own country even? Against a foreigner that can't even sell 5,000 seats the fight prior to that. Which means they weren't Tyson Fury fans all of a sudden. They were pretty much Deontay Wilder haters. And Errol Spence could relate because when he went to the UK, he got brownies thrown at him. Which that's how it's supposed to go since he was the foreigner. But here in the United States, it was the other way around. You see Deontay Wilder getting booed. You feel like Tyson Fury is the hometown fighter. But unlike Errol Spence, when Lomachenko went to the UK to face Luke Campbell, Luke Campbell is the hometown fighter. However, some way, somehow, they treated Lomachenko like he was the hometown fighter. And I mean the judges included, not just the fans. So there is something clearly wrong with the picture. The fighters on the coincidental list, they are innocent. And they will try to make them guilty some way, somehow. On the other hand, fighters on the hope list, they are guilty. And they will try to prove them innocent some way, somehow. Which Tyson Fury's situation with Kerfoot is a prime example. Tyson Fury was supposed to face an 8-year ban after Kerfoot was cooperating with Okada, and then all of a sudden, Martin Kerfoot refuses to cooperate with Okada, claiming he had nothing but problems since the beginning of this. And old media flipped the narrative to Tyson Fury being cleared. So my point is, if you have that hope insurance, it's truly full cover. Therefore, at this point, if you do not believe me still, then this might clear the airwaves. If you're on the hope list and you lose, they will erase your loss. You can ask Lomachenko that. So if you could apply for the hope insurance and you think you are qualified and meet all the requirements, then what are you waiting for? Hope insurance is better than Geico. The only bad news, you have to have the complexion for the protection. On the other hand, fighters on the coincidental list, just like Floyd Mayweather stated, he did not just beat his opponents. Being 50-0 is not that simple. Floyd Mayweather stated he did not just beat his opponents, he had to beat the referee on some occasions, the judges on some other occasions. For example, the Canelo fight, one judge had it a draw, some other judges had it close. When Floyd won every single round and every single minute of that fight. And last but not least, Floyd Mayweather even had to face the commission. When he fought Maidana, Floyd Mayweather had to pay $1.5 million so Maidana won't cheat and wear a glove that was tampered with. That's the corruption that fighters on the coincidental list deal with till this day, from the Jack Johnson days to Deontay Wilder days. How ironic is that? And this is all according to Floyd. He said it out of his own mouth. He said, I didn't just beat my opponents. I was facing the commission, the corruption of boxing, the referee, the judges, etc., etc., etc. So, with that being stated, last but not least, Errol Spence stated, you cap to no doubt Trout, put a name on it next time. A lot of people got thrown off when Errol Spence went at Trout. Now, I believe that came from Blue Blood interview when Austin Trout stated that some fighters take steroids and they have big nipples. So that's where I believe that came from. Now, it's funny to me that so many people want to hold on to this nipple talk on some homo talk. No disrespect to Trout because he's a fighter that's a veteran. He fought everybody, etc., etc. But nevertheless, if Trout want to go at somebody that actually failed for steroids, aka Canelo Alvarez, Tyson Fury, Dillian White, and the list goes on and on and on. And if you want to make accusations, then it makes sense if you accuse a fighter that turned down Avada testing. For example, Manny Pacquiao. When Floyd Mayweather tried to fight him in 2009, Pacquiao turned down the fight because Floyd Mayweather was requesting him to take Olympic-style testing. So if you want to have a question mark due to Manny Pacquiao behavior, it makes sense. I understand where you're coming from. But when you falsely accuse somebody for being on something just because he have bigger nipples than you do, your accusations holds no weight since this fighter you're referring to passed all of his drug tests from the strictest boxing agencies when it comes to testings. So if this fighter in particular, which is Errol Spence, turned down a VADA test, a USADA test, then it could make sense. At least you could speculate or have an open mind when it comes to that. But when this fighter never turned down a VADA test or USADA test for whatever reason, and you still accuse him even though he's passing all of the drug tests, that's just simply called hating and jealousy, if I'm being honest. Because of the fact Errol Spence left no room, zero room for speculations or any accusations. It's literally a vacuum. Nevertheless, me and Deontay had a relatable conversation. Deontay from Deontay's Boxing Nation, he was telling me that fighters on the coincidental list, they go at other fighters on the coincidental list that might be more successful just because there's a green light for that. It's okay to go and bash another fighter on the coincidental list, even if he's innocent. However, if you bash a fighter on the hope list, even if he's guilty, that's a no-no. And that's what it came down to with Austin Trout, in my humble opinion. So there's no telling, but if Austin Trout want to go at somebody, it makes sense if you make accusations even against a guy like Manny Pacquiao, like I pointed out, because he turned down a VADA test. I remember the time when Marquez knocked out Manny Pacquiao even. They were accusing Marquez of being on steroids because of all of the acne on his chest. Now, a lot of people were making a great point of, well, listen, it's one thing if a person like Errol Spence had big nipples before he even started boxing. But Marquez, he never had acne on his chest, right? Then you could open the accusations for Marquez. However, what's the point when Manny Pacquiao himself was the one turning down the VADA test? Why blame Marquez? If one fighter is not fighting on an even playing field, then it's okay for the next fighter not to do so. So the fight could be on an even playing field, on the next level, if you know what I mean. So like I said, if you never had acne or big nipples, no homo, and one day, all of a sudden you have bigger nipples, bigger head, way more acne, then I could understand at least where the accusations are coming from. However, when it comes to Errol Spence, there is no room for any allegations or accusations, since Errol Spence, ever since 15 years old, the time he really started boxing, he turned as an amateur, he always had the same nipples, no homo. His record proved he's innocent, so there is no room, zero room for any allegations or any accusations. And just to put icing on the cake, it ain't like Errol Spence came out of nowhere. Errol Spence's name was trending through gyms. Errol Spence went to the Olympics. He had a pro style then. He was a beast then, just like he's a beast now. When he was taking the Olympic style drug testing, he was a beast. When he fought Kell Brook and took VADA and USADA test, he was a beast, just like he is today. Alhamdulillah, mashallah. Nevertheless, the haters gonna hate, and the real going to appreciate. And we all know why they hate Errol Spence. His nickname tells it all. The truth. And the truth nowadays is no longer popular. However, I'd rather be hated for telling the truth than be loved for telling a lie. That's how Akhi moves. So subscribe if you're trying to get smart about a minute. If you're trying to get dumb about a second, don't. And listen to these decafs, the dumb casual ass fans / old media, aka corrupted media that don't know shit about boxing. Word to Roger Mayweather, may he rest in peace, inshallah. And with that being stated, click on the notification bell to get notified every time I post or go live on Split Decision. Akhi's the past, present, and future. Undisputed, pound for pound when it comes to debating. So to all the decaps, quit eating that wild boar, that contaminated meat that's not allowing your cojones to grow, and call in. And if you dream of putting that blemish on Akhi record, then you better call in and apologize live, because Allah only made a couple things perfect. Floyd Mayweather undefeated record, and Akhi undefeated record on Split Decision. More than 600 debates with 600 KOs. I got these decafs shook. They scared to look every time Akhi is on TV. With that being stated, I appreciate all my Akhis. Subscribe, click on the notification bell, and to be continued on the next episode of Akhi TV. Akhi stand for my brother, and this is the boxing hood, the boxing brotherhood. So call in, tune in, and peace. We out here.